Alright. Take like 3 because everyone wanted to snow blow and stuff this morning. Who am I, what am I doing, and how can you help me? My name is Matthew Ford. I'm 34 years old, and I am hoping to... Nope, you will. Yeah, we'll just trim it. Alright. We'll just trim it. Alright, take 3, because everyone wants to snow blow. Who am I, what am I planning on doing, and how can you help me? My name is Matthew Ford. I'm 34 years old, and I am hiking the Appalachian Trail from Massachusetts to Georgia, spring-summer of 2025. A little bit about myself. Like I said, my name's Matthew. I'm 34 years old. Born and raised more or less in the Berkshires in the foothills of Massachusetts. Spent most of my life here. Traveled around once or twice, but spent most of my life here. In my 20s, I became addicted to drugs and alcohol and spent most of my 20s on heroin. Lived a rock star life, but it wasn't really that fun. That's a whole story in and of itself. In 2020, at the start of the COVID pandemic, I, through the grace of God, was arrested, incarcerated for a little bit of time, and made homeless during the pandemic, and that finally brought me to the lowest of lows. And since 2020, I have been in about 5 years of long-term recovery. The past 2 years... The past 2 years of my life have been pretty up and down, and for the last year or so, I have been unemployed. After I became sober, I have pursued a career in addiction treatment services, pursuing a biblical counseling accreditation, and having worked at a long-term rehab facility as a residential staff member and an admin. And after that, I transitioned into state-regulated cannabis sales, and it's been about a year since I've had work. This area has sort of dried up for me, and my prospects are pretty slim. That being said, I am in a position where this summer I could take off and restart. And for several of these past years, I have been called to do so. Part of my recovery story is a deep faith and connection with Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, and as evident by me pursuing a biblical counseling degree. And I have felt called to the South, Georgia, Texas areas, in particular Florida, to name 3 for their spiritual revivals. And I feel like the Lord is placing on me the call to travel south. I plan on doing some evangelism on the trail, spreading the light of Christ. In my experience previous, have spoken at churches and produced Bible studies, so I'm hoping to network and connect with some churches along the trail, and maybe have some speaking opportunities related to the nonprofit I'm trying to start, Able Arc Ministries, which focuses on addiction treatment and coming to Christ, as well as my personal experiences with addiction and my faith journey. I'd love to share those experiences with people along the way, and then ultimately get down to Georgia and start a new life, but that's beyond the journey here. I will be documenting the process of preparing for this hike and vlogging throughout the hike and throughout the journey. There will be a GoFundMe that I will be setting up shortly, as well as a Patreon. Realistically, I'm going to be able to have most of the expenses needed prior to the trail. I'll be able to accumulate those, and those along with most of the gear. But there's a variety of expenses on the trail and some key pieces of gear that I'm trying to fundraise for. So taking this channel in a new direction, taking life in a new direction, and we'll go from there. Normally I script my stuff out, but trying to be more authentic in life, so